Hello and welcome back. Now let's continue. Now in this part, we are going to discuss the concept of velocity. What does velocity of money mean? Imagine I pick up a $10 bill and I write on it, moon landing was fake, something like that. And I spend the $10 bill. I give it, let's say, to a Walmart cashier. And then the Walmart would pay it as salary to one of his employees. And then that person would get to see the $10 bill. It was like, wow, what statement. And then that person who got the money as his salary or her salary would get to spend the money somewhere else. Give it to another person, let's say a small business owner. Then the small business owner would see the bill, read my statement. Wow, the speed at which this money circulates and how fast different people can get to know my wisdom is called the velocity of money. It actually shows how active an economy is, how fast people are spending money, changing hand, how fast money is changing hand. As a formula, velocity of money is equal to price level multiplied by yield or GDP, the real GDP, divided by M. If you remember from chapter 11, P or price level is the same as the GDP deflator, or sorry, chapter 10, the GDP deflator. It actually shows us how much the GDP is changing its value between the real GDP and the nominal GDP, or it's a measure of how fast money is losing its value. It's similar to inflation. V is equal to price level multiplied by Y divided by M. And M is quantity of money, how much money in total do we have in the economy. As you can see, as price level goes up, it means that money is losing its value. So now I have to spend my $10 bill faster because now everything is more expensive. I need more $10 bills. So the probability that I get to pick that $10 bill from my pocket and give it to the Walmart's cashier is now going up. So if P goes up, velocity would go up. Also, when the GDP, the real GDP goes up, here, if Y goes up, now we have more stuff in the economy. So now our production increased. Now more people are having jobs, more people are getting paid. So now more people are getting money, and more people will spend that money more often because there are now more stuff to buy. Let's say a country only produces cars. Last year, the country produced 10 cars. Each car, $20,000. So 10 times $20,000, that's $200,000. That's how much money people spend on buying that car. But this year, the country actually doubled its GDP. It now produces 40 cars for the same price. Price level, it's the same. Now we get to spend $20,000. Did I say $10,000? Multiply by 40,000, now $400,000. So now the velocity of money went up because now we got more stuff to buy. So we spend money faster. Also, quantity of money. If the quantity of money goes up, however, story changes. When we have more bills in our pockets, it is less likely that I would pick the $10 bill that I wrote my wisdom on it. So here's the deal. quantity equation. Again, here, you can take this here, you can multiply both sides of this equation with M. What will you have? Will be V multiplied by M, which is equal to P multiplied by Y. It's quantity of money, velocity of money, dollar value of the economy's output of goods and services. Now, the good thing is you can actually interpret this. This is the price level, this is the price level, and this is our output. Multiplied together, it's the total dollar value of all goods and services produced in the economy. And on this side, it would be equal to how fast the money is changing hand and how much money in total do we have. Shows an increase in quantity of money must be reflected in price level, which must increase, quantity of output must increase, velocity of money must fall. So when quantity of money goes up, as we said in the previous part, if M goes up and these are constant, these are do not change, then this must go down. Intuitively, if you think about it, when you have more dollar bills in your pocket, then you're not going to spend all your money as fast as you would have before. It shows an increase in quantity of money must be reflected in how quantity of output must rise, price level must rise, or velocity of money must fall. Now, here we can see the nominal GDP, the quantity of money, and the velocity of money. As you can see, nominal GDP and the quantity of money as measured by M2 from chapter 16. If you remember, we had M1 and M2. M2 and nominal GDP are pretty close to each other. They're moving close, while velocity has been almost constant the whole time because these two are super close to each other, nominal GDP and M2. Because these two are constant, moving side by side, velocity is equal. But when you come to 2008, the Great Recession, you can see that M2 is rising rapidly. Why? Because the Federal Reserve is trying to induce demand by printing money and injecting money into the society, increasing the money supply. But nominal GDP is not increasing that fast because now we have a huge economic recession on our hands. And you can see a small change in the velocity of money. You can see here that velocity of money is actually dropping. That's because we have a disaster here. We have a financial recession. Velocity of money, relatively stable over time. As you can see, because the government is not doing anything crazy. They're just trying to increase the supply of money, or M2, the quantity of money, as fast as the nominal GDP is increasing. So they're not pouring money into the public from the helicopters. Therefore, velocity of money is relatively stable. It only changes in times of crisis and when weird things happen. For example, right now during the coronavirus situation, I'm pretty sure velocity of money would crash. You have to see. Changes in quantity of money, M, is proportionate changes in nominal value of output, P multiplied by Y. Economy's output of goods and services, it's primarily determined by factor supplies and available production technology. Money does not affect output. That's a very important statement. Very important. It actually tells the politicians It tells the decision makers, the policy makers, you know what, guys? Your power is limited. You cannot change some rules and regulations and then overnight you cannot achieve miracles. It's not going to happen. If you want to increase the output of an economy, if you want to make people richer, it's done through factor supplies, production technology. It's done through science and technology and education and efficiency. It's not done through some politician waking up next morning and, hey guys, I decided to change this law. Yes, it could help, but only through technology. If you help the technology, then the technology would help increasing economics output of goods and services. So this is a very important thing to remember. I think if I would want to point out like 10 things to remember from this class, one of them is this: money does not affect output. Money is basically meaningless. What matters in output is our efficiency and our technology. Change in money supply, M, induces proportional changes in the nominal value of output, reflected change in the price, reflected in changes in the price level. Excuse me. When the central bank increases the money supply rapidly, when the printer is working every day, we would have high rate of inflation. Inflation is how fast our money supply is increasing. When they're printing money over and over and over every day, money supply is increasing faster. So inflation would go up. Hyperinflation. This is a horror movie. Inflation that exceeds 50% per month. Wow. Just think about it. Think about this. You have, let's say, I want to buy a cheeseburger. It's $5. And in 2 months, it's going to be more than $100. Sorry, more than $10. Every month, it's going to increase by 50%, 50%, and 50%. And this is just, wow, think about it. How fast the prices are rising. And if my salary doesn't adjust itself as fast, then I'm finished. I'm in serious trouble. Or if I have some money saved, if I was careful, I listened to my mom and I put away a portion of my salary every month so that I can have some savings so that I can have later buy myself like a house or something like that. And then a hyperinflation happens, my saving is worthless, literally worthless. It's like I just didn't use it. I had a friend of mine who was working in Tehran's stock exchange, and like right now, the Iranian economy always has super high inflation rate, not hyperinflation, but it's like 50% per year. Again, a problematically high inflation rate. So he actually said, you know what, guys, if you have money saved, just eat out. Just go to fancy restaurants. Just burn through it. Because if you don't, the government will do it for you. Just at least try to enjoy yourself. Go, depending on how much money you have saved. Go on a very nice vacation. Just spend the money, get rid of it. Because if you don't burn it, the government will burn it for you. At least you're going to have some nice pictures or very good memory from the money. So this is why hyperinflation is actually super bad. It destroys people's savings. It destroys their plans. It destroys their preparations for their future. Therefore, it would hurt the economy next year and next year because people who were planning, let's say I plan to buy a house. Now with the money I had saved, I cannot even buy a bicycle. So the construction company was actually building money, thinking that, okay, there are all these guys who are working and saving money so that they can buy our houses. Now no one can afford their houses. So those guys will be out of business. The truckers who actually were contracted by that construction company to carry material for them, now they have no one to pay them because no houses were being sold. Now they cannot be paid. So they're out of business. The mechanic who was supposed to perform maintenance on the trucks now has no one. So you can see like a horrible domino effect because of hyperinflation. Data on hyperinflation, clear link between quantity of money and the price level. Now, four classic hyperinflations, 1920s, Austria, Hungary, Germany, and Poland. Slope of money line, rate at which the quantity of money was growing. Slope of the price line shows us the inflation rate. The steeper the lines, the higher the rates of money growth or inflation. Prices rise when the government prints too much money. Let's look at here for Austria. You can see here we have the price level and money supply. You can see from 1921 to 1922, in 1 year, price level went from 100 to 1,000, almost 1,000. And then next year it went to 10,000. And then after that, almost to 100,000. This is just, imagine living in this kind of life, kind of world. It's just scary to think about this. Imagine you've been saving money. Now all your saves are gone. Imagine you've been working and now the economy would collapse. It's just horrible. Think about it. For Hungary, again, the same. For Germany, oh boy, look at this here. 100, 1921, still up to 1922, under control, 100, 1923. It is beginning, 10,000. Next year, in 1 year from 10,000, we got to, what is this? It said 1,000. No, it's a billion. I'm pretty sure it's because a billion here. No, it's a trillion. This is so big. I don't know how many zeros there. That's 6 zeros, a million, and that's another 6 zeros. That's a trillion. Oh my God. And think about this. That's like the collapse of a civilization. This is why you got crazy things happen in Germany during that time, like Nazis and communists and invading each other and all the horrible things that happened. I would say economy played a major role. If the government in Germany, before the Nazis, if the government of Germany could actually control the situation, we would have probably not seen the Second World War, so many crimes and horrible things that happened during that period and before that. And frankly, the world today would be completely different. This figure shows the quantity of money and the price level during 4 hyperinflation. Note that these variables are graphed on a logarithmic scale. Logarithmic scale, it means how much it changes. It doesn't show you the absolute value. It shows you how much is changing, is increasing. When in economics, because we are more interested in the change speed. We are not interested in the absolute value in macroeconomics, especially. It's much more important for us to understand how it's changing. So we use the log form or logarithmic form to compare data with one another, because it's much easier that way. Instead of using super big numbers, we can just use the log form, even though in Germany's case, it's not really changing anything. It's just, this is horrible. Okay, let's move on. In each case, the quantity of money and the price level move closely together. The strong association between these two variables is consistent with the quantity theory of money, which states that growth in money supply is the primary cause of inflation. And then Poland, compared to what we saw in Germany's case, these are nothing. But then you may ask, why would the government do that? Why the government want to print money? I mean, are they crazy? Why would they just print money? What forces them to do that? Now, I want to give you a story. Let's go back 1,000 years or even more. Imagine you're a farmer, a peasant, or a blacksmith living in a village in Germany or France or Persia, anywhere. In that time, we had coins which had pictures of kings on them. And these coins were used to trade. It was exactly like the dollar bills today. So we used coins to trade with one another. Like I would buy your cow for 2 coins, 2 silver coins, and then you would buy a hammer from me for 1 silver coin and things like that. Why did we use these coins? Because we trusted the guy above, the king. He had his picture minted on the coin. So we were like, yeah, this guy is pretty good. Even like he's rich. He has a big army. He has lots of nice furniture, a fancy crown, beautiful castles. He wouldn't steal my money. I'm like a poor person with like 2 cows and a little piece of land. Why would he steal my money? The thing is, he would. What the king does is that whenever he wants to go to war or do something like that, he would debase the currency. Let's say I'm the king. I would have all my coins made with like this much silver, very tiny bit of silver. Let's say the 20% of this pen as silver to mint 1 coin. Now, because I'm going to war with my cousin over some hill, I need money to hire mercenaries and hire, I don't know, buy horses and not swords and stuff. So now what I would do is I would reduce the value of this coin by using less silver and more, let's say, copper, like more worthless metals, let's say copper. I would use less silver in making those coins and more copper. And no one would realize it. I would just, now I'm able to, instead of minting 1,000 silver coins, now I can mint 10,000 silver coins. So wow, this is great, right? Now I'm making more coins and giving it to people in exchange of swords and horses and soldiers and things like that. Now I'm richer. While people are actually being tricked, they're being scammed out of their work and their money. Let's say a sword, this is a sword, was 2 silver coins or 10 silver coins, 10 silver coins. Now that the king debased the currency, the sword is again 10 silver coins because I don't know it's debased. But now I get less silver in exchange for this sword. So that the king can have more silver, get more swords. You see? The king was actually scamming people from their belongings using this debasement of the currency. And you might say, okay, but that was the Dark Ages and we're now civilized. This doesn't happen again. But you're wrong. We have something which is called the inflation tax. It's the revenue the government raises by creating and printing money, like a tax on everyone who holds money. When the government prints money, the price level rises and the dollars in your wallet are less valuable. Let's say I'm a government employee. I work for a department like a Ministry of Agriculture in Iran. My salary would be, let's say, $1,000 every month. Now the government has debased my salary. Has introduced inflation using inflation tax. My salary doesn't change until next year. But now, because of the inflation, the government gets to pay me the same money while the money itself lost its value. So the government in reality is paying me less. And for everything, the government now has more value for himself. I have less value for myself. So inflation, it's a bad thing. Some people would say it's an enemy of the civilization. I think it's George Orwell in a book he wrote, Letters to Catalonia or Hail to Catalonia. I read it years ago. He said that inflation and war are both good things for short term. They bring about good results in the short run, but in the long run, they're disasters. And they're both very good for opportunities, opportunity. Oh my God, I forgot to speak. Opportunistic people. Swear to God, I know how to talk. I don't know what happened. All right, let's move on. Fisher effect. Let's take a quick break and see you in a bit so we can finish this. Thank you very much.